Good morning, everyone. My name is Dennis. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to show you a quick kettlebell combination that you can put together for can be a pretty intense workout. So it's going to be sets of swings paired up in sort of a opposite order. So we're going to go from high volume swings paired with a low volume of Sumo Deadlifts. And then as we go, we're going to lower the volume per set of the swings as we increase incrementally the Sumo Deadlift toward the opposite amount. So start at 10 and 1, end at 1 and 10. So let's do a quick warm up just to get us ready and prepared. Here we go. Alrighty. So the first one, to here. Flatten our backs. We're going to hug this knee into our chest, making sure our lower back and our hips stay in contact with the mat. And then it doesn't have to be straight up and down, it can be off to the side. Everyone's hips are a little different. Then we're going to come figure 4 position here. Cradle this leg and knee and bring it up. And while we're here, we straighten out that bottom leg, intensify the stretch a little bit. We bring this to about 90. We're going to open up to the side. And then I like to think about pulling that knee or hugging that leg in and back into the capsule a little bit, and then over gently. And go back to figure 4. We're reaching the hands through this opening here, hugging everything in while keeping those hips and that lower back still in contact with the mat or ground. And then we're straightening out that bottom leg as best we can, heel to the sky. And then we're going to switch sides. So we hug this knee in. Figure 4 position. And then we cradle this leg, knee in. Straighten that leg out. We're here 90-90. Open up to the side. And hugging that knee in. Over gently. Figure 4. Reaching through the opening. Pulling everything in. Hips and lower back stay in contact with the mat still. Then we can straighten out that bottom leg as best we can while keeping that head back nice and relaxed. Heel towards the sky, so we're pushing that heel. Bring those toes towards the knee. Last one here. We're going to let those knees collapse in. We're not shoving them in, just collapsing in if we can. And then if we want, what we can do is actively use the glute and let that leg fall, and then let that one just trail behind it. And then back, so end up in this sort of 45-45 position. And we're just going to go find that position a few times. Letting the leg fall, especially the one internally rotating and going in towards the midline. And we can go here. Tall lunge. If this is 90-90, we're opening up a little bit. Push those hips forward. Opposite side. Push those hips forward. Opening up the hip flexor psoas complex. Help us with the swings. Alrighty. Let me adjust the camera for us. So this will be sort of a quick one. Shouldn't see everything. Alrighty. Don't mind all the equipment in the back. Here we go. So for the swing, and any type of dumbbell, kettlebell, lower weight, higher weight, we can just change up the position that we're holding it. But the general idea is to be about shoulder width apart, or hip with the feet, toes out slightly. Everyone's hips are different, so we can play around, but we want to think about big toe, pinky toe, heel stay in contact. And the idea is the hip hinge. So we'll have a little bend in this knee. So if this is locked out, just soft knee. And we keep it in that position. And there's different ways to do a swing. I like to teach it more of a hip dominant movement. So we think pushing those hips back, Notice my back stays flat, my core is braced like I'm doing a front plank the whole time. Even at the top of the swing, I'm not overextending. I'm boom, braced, locked in here, and that brace remains. I stay static throughout the torso. The only movement is in the hips and the lower body. This is braced and stable. So here, hips go back, and we're trying to touch our glutes to a wall behind us. Notice my head's here. I don't really like to crane my neck like this. So keep that spine neutral and stable. We hike past the kettlebell effectively behind us, and then we snap those hips through. As we snap the hips through, the knees can also lock out, and then we're just going up to the point. If you notice, the bell is sort of drooping like that. It means we're using our upper body, our shoulders too much. We really want to have a moment of weightlessness. Hips. So very little arm work actually has to take place. My grip is nice and soft. So we're going to go 10 swings just like that, and we'll move into a sumo deadlift. The sumo deadlift, feet are out wide, so out wider than shoulder width. Once again, everyone's hips are different. And what we want to think about is big toe, pink toe, heel, all in contact, twist the ground apart, push those knees out, and then hips down and back, and then driving up through from the side, hips down and back, and then come up through. So we're not trying to squat down or plie or let those knees collapse in. It's more of a hip hinge, honestly. So we're here, hips back, and then coming up through. Okay? So we start with 10 swings. Here we go. Good position. Hike pass. Hips through. You can match the breath. Breathe out slightly, but we keep that core engaged. Breathing into that tight shield of the core. There we go. Out wide, just one. Down, hips through. And we're coming back, going 9 and 2 this time. Make sure the hips and the glutes are tight at the top. And 2. Hips out, and knees out, hips back, hips through. If you have a smaller weight, feel free to not go all the way down. Put something underneath of it to stop that range of motion, or just really try and go until that wrist is a little below the knee. Now we're going 8 and 3. I'll show you from this side. So to start off with, you can kind of just give a little here. And 3. So catch your breath, stay loose in between. 7 and 4. Keep them fast, snappy, explosive. Six and 5. Here we go. Keep the spine nice and long. Core's engaged. 5 and 6. So we've reached that tipping point. really make the swing snappy. If you're going through a broad jump, especially because that volume's dropping. Per set. Here we go, 6. Try to keep the weight close to us. Use the lat to pull it in. Keep that shoulder locked in. Like you think about breaking a stick. So we're externally rotating at that shoulder. 4 and 7. Come this way. So once again, take a second, get your breath, core is engaged, back stays flat, knees out, hips back. Hips through. Let the largest muscles really control the movement. Everything else just locks it in. So we're going 3 and 7. Push the knees out, hips back, lats engaged, weight stays close. Three and 8. So keep the form steady throughout, even as fatigue builds up. Last 2 rounds, I should say. So 2 and 9. Core's engaged, nice and tall at the top, not overextending, remember? And last one coming up. Just one with the swing. Just take your time, build up that momentum. And we're locking out. Nice and explosive for that one, crispy. And crisp, I should say. And then 10. So we're locking in, big toe, heel. Twist the ground apart, push those knees out, hips back. Core stays stable. Here we go, locked in. Almost there. Thank you all for joining me. That was a quick one, but it can be really effective, especially if you're short on time and only have the one weight, or you can switch up the weight depending upon the movement or as fatigue builds up. So once again, thank you for joining me. Have a great day.